should be working for. 5, 6, 7, 8. U of T negotiate. Woo! That's burn. I think it's cold out here. Our funding has been frozen for 7 years. Burn.
What's happening here affects everyone. It's not just the graduate students, it's also the students' quality of education who's being impacted. If TAs are wondering how they're going to pay this month's rent or put food on the table, it really impacts how we're able to give in our tutorials and in the lectures we teach. Frankly, this is my first time being in a union, and I think this is exactly why we need one, because it's very difficult to live in Toronto on $15,000 a year. My rent is $1,000 a month, which doesn't leave a whole lot for food. So having a union here to be able to bring us together and to negotiate against the university is critical.
She won't sit at the table with the likes of you and me. She's selling Anderson, the Rotten soil kind of lies. Need to blow the lid off this open people's eyes. We teach our living wage should be in reach. We lecture. We teach our living wage should be in reach. We lecture. We teach our living wage should be in reach. We lecture. We teach.
Today, my name is Alistair Woods, and I'm the chairperson of the Canadian Federation of Students Ontario. And on behalf of 350,000 college and university students, I am proud to stand beside TAs and contract instructors in this strike and in the labor disruptions at York, because what is outrageous?
Poverty wages!
And what's disgusting?
Union busting!
And let me tell you what is disgusting. That a university, like the University of Toronto, pays poverty wages to its teachers. That one of the most prestigious institutions in the country claims that it can't afford to pay living wages to the people who do the work on this campus. They say they can't afford it, though they have a surplus. They say they can't afford it, though they can damn well afford to pay administrators more than the Premier of Ontario. But we're here with you because we understand that your working conditions are our learning conditions. This isn't just about U of T. This isn't just about York. This is about building a system of higher education that has no tuition fees, where workers are treated with respect, and where we can truly be proud to call ourselves workers and students and members of the University of Toronto community. Solidarity! Solidarity!
So once again, I'm Yolande Rolo-Camarin, the president of the University of Toronto Students' Union, representing 50,000 undergrad students at UT. We recognize that the working conditions of our TAs, our course instructors, members of CUPE 3902 are our learning conditions. We want to see an end to the strike. We want the university to negotiate in good faith with our TAs and offer living wages. This is one of the best institutions in the world. Why are teachers living in poverty? That's shameful. Shame! So next next we have Nicole Desnoyers. She's all the way here from Ottawa. Hey everybody, on behalf of Ottawa, I'm bringing love, rage, and solidarity to CUPE 3902! And I'm here to let you know, members of CUPE 3902, you are not alone. We are seeing a trend across this province of university administrations attacking workers' rights on our campuses. I'm from the University of Ottawa, and our 3 professor and TA unions on campus during the last round of negotiations all had to get strike mandates from their membership. We saw the administration negotiating in bad faith. We sought strike memberships, and as a student union worker, we supported our campus workers because your working conditions are our learning conditions. Grace Labodi and the VB External of the University of Toronto Students Union.
Hey everyone, my name is Grace. I'm also a 3rd-year undergraduate student here at U of T. Now, it is appalling that the university has not come back to the table for CUPE 3902. It is appalling that they are saying that they are bargaining in good faith when they're still not here. Now, CUPE 3902 is fighting for fair wages and quality education, and we know that. That's why we're here. Right? But when the university has an 87-page sunshine list of people, of individuals who are making over $100,000 and more, and the vice provost makes $250,000. Meanwhile, our TAs are making $15,000, which is $8,000 below the poverty line. How is the University of Toronto even accepting that? How is that acceptable for UT? It's unacceptable!
Up next we have Ryan Culpepper, who's been organizing here with CUPE 3902. He's a grad student here at UT.
Fellow members of CUPE 3902! And more importantly, fellow students here at the University of Toronto. CUPE 3902 on strike 1 week. CUPE 3903 on strike 4 days. CUPE 3799, the University of Northern British Columbia, on strike as of yesterday. Who's going to be next? Because what I've learned on these picket lines is that we're not going to take it anymore. We're sick of it. You guys, I woke up this morning so mad. Are you mad at this university and this provost? I'm so mad. This provost, Cheryl Reguer, and I know I don't need to tell undergrads about this provost and her administration. They brought undergrads the monstrosity known as flat fees. That was a shame and a fiasco. This same administration and this provost continues to lie, to distort numbers, and to treat us, students of this university, as well as teachers and researchers, like we are cheap and dispensable and like we're powerless. I don't feel powerless today. Do you feel powerless today? Cheryl Reguer says it's business as usual at this university. What does it mean to say it's business as usual at U of T?
Exploitation!
That the collective action of thousands of people living in poverty should have no effect on business as usual. That our work and our livelihoods mean nothing, mean less than nothing. My friends and my fellow students and my fellow workers, business as usual at this university is the problem, and business as usual at this university is over.
Revere, who's here all the way from York, from CUPE 3903.
Sisters and brothers, my name is Parambir, and I bring you greetings of solidarity from 32 members of the newly formed Osgood Law Strike Support Committee. We are all law students. We have been on the picket lines up at York each and every day since CUPE 3903 began its strike on Tuesday, and we stand firmly with CUPE 3902 in both body and spirit for as long as it takes to win this strike. Now, since I'm a law student, I want to say two things about the law in relation to those on strike. The first, law is with you. The second, law is against you. The law is with you because the Charter of Rights and Freedoms protects your right to strike. Earlier this year, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that the right to strike is essential to meaningful collective bargaining because it permits the employee to negotiate on a more equal footing. Now, for that reason, the court held that, quote, the right to strike is constitutionally protected. Now, these, let's not get it mistaken, these are powerful words, even if their implications are ambiguous and uncertain for now. What you should take away from them is that by going on strike, you are exercising a legal right. A right that is protected not just by law, but by the highest form of law liberal democracy has ever known, the Constitution. By striking, you are instilling life in this right. You are giving it meaning, texture, consequence. The law is on your side when you do this, and you must know that it is on your side every time you confront figures and forces who would tell you otherwise. Now, my second message, sisters and brothers, is that the law is against you, and this time in several different ways. First, as Indigenous people, people of color, women, LGBTQ, and the differently abled can attest, legal rights are often experienced through their violation. It is under conditions of death, degradation, and poverty that these groups, as part of the diverse working class of this country, come to learn of their rights to life, liberty, and property. Law is also against you because the Constitution itself infringes the rights it guarantees. This, ironically, occurs in the very first section of our famous charter, which begins by outlining limits on rights rather than asserting them resolutely without hesitation. Most fundamentally, sisters and brothers, law is against you because it furnishes employers and legislatures with better rights. A vast legal arsenal to break strikes and to break the backs of those who make them. Employers can hire scab labor and fire union organizers. Governments can enact back-to-work legislation, and then they can jail workers who refuse to submit to it. Crossing picket lines, fundamentally, crossing picket lines is not illegal in this country, but rather actively encouraged and often mandated. In all of these ways, law's protection of the right to strike is put in conflict with greater protections for capital to keep labor subjugated. A more equal footing is, after all, still an unequal footing. So, the fact that law is both with you and against you at the very same time is not just contradictory, it is instructive. It means that celebrating law is just as inadequate as lamenting it. Instead, we have to use law, leverage it, take it as far as it will go in the service of independent political struggles for equity and justice. But in doing so, We have to stop ourselves from relying on law, from fetishizing it, from thinking that it creates anything other than solids that will melt inevitably into air when the heat of the moment is on. We understand, then, that the power of this strike, whether aided or undermined by law, does not come from law. Everyone, look to your left. Look to your right. That is where your power ultimately comes from. Real power comes from the TAs of 3902, from the graduate students and contract faculty of 3903, from TTC workers refusing to cross picket lines, from the professors, undergrads, and community groups standing in solidarity today, and from countless others across the country and across the world who embrace your struggle as their own. The source of your power comes from solidarity within and between all of these forces acting together as one. So, sisters and brothers, wherever the balance of legal rights may lie at any particular juncture, remember to draw on this power, the limitless, irrepressible power of solidarity. And whatever law may say, always, always strike to win.